So starting off, Dyllón, I want to start with you. When you got the script, what attracted you to the role?
I actually got the offer for this project before I had a chance to read the script. And what attracted me to the project is Dwen's incredible story and just the life that Dwen has lived and um, the incredible complexity and resilience and power that she has exhibited and um, in the face of like so much was really incredible to me and inspiring. And so I jumped at the opportunity to be able to tell the story.
So, Dwen, when you were positioned with the opportunity to turn your life story into a film, were there any hesitations or were there any concerns on your part because you're being very vulnerable and talking about things that maybe you hadn't revisited in a while? What was that experience like?
Um, well, me telling my story, I'm just very transparent. I didn't know that it would be such an emotional roller coaster and telling it and watching it. And I knew, the story definitely needed to be told. It was just, I mean, everyone has a story. It's just in how they do it, how they sit up there and depict of which they did an incredible job. So it was for me. I was scared. I was scared because I didn't know it could. When you look at this project, it could go either way. It could go left or right. Good or bad. And luckily, I had incredible actors and stuff like that. So the comfortability it came when you know everyone was together. You know.
So, Dylan, for you telling the story, as an actor, you're jumping into different roles and characters and people's psyche, but it's a little different when the person is right there and you can talk to her. What were those conversations like about her life and the different eras?
I think yes, it is different, but ultimately, like we're telling a story. It's as much as this is based in Dwayne's life, it's also um, uh, fictionalized for the screen. So in terms of my process, I was able to approach it like I would any other role, and there was the blessing of having another resource to be able to pull from, which was Dwayne being there on set, and so getting an opportunity to speak to Dwayne and meet Dwayne's mom and the real DJ and get the firsthand um, stories that added a lot more depth and color
Mm-hmm.
to the way we told the story, um, e- beyond what was on the page.
Mm-hmm.
So, Dwayne, for you, having to reflect back on these moments, what was the most difficult moment that you saw being recreated on screen from your past?
I would say definitely the drug abuse. I would say, because my mother doesn't cry. And so for her to have the gun out and she's crying, I hadn't seen her cry since my grandfather had passed away because she's such a strong Black woman. And it was the drug abuse. Um, it was the, Uncle Yam riding me by seeing the
Sorry, I understand. We can take a moment and come back to that.
no, I'm sorry. It's every time.
We'll come
Every
back.
time I mention his name, and they're happy tears, is because he really saved my life. I actually don't think that I would be here. And then, I mean, everything was a roller coaster, even from getting shot. Dylan, he could tell you that when they did that scene, I had to leave, because it was too much. I could tell the story without, I could breeze through it and tell it, but to see the reenactment was, it took me all the way back. And then it was so many layers of emotions that went on. And then, of course, being traumatized from being in prison, that right there within itself, it was all of it. It was all of it was, it's only as hard as you make it, but I made it through. And they were able to, you know, pull from me, because a lot of times when you tell certain biopics, either the individual is deceased and someone else has to do it. By the grace of God, my mother is still here and everything. So we were able to give them pieces of who we were so that they could understand us.
Amazing. And thank you for being courageous enough to share that with us.
Mm.
So, Dyllón, for you, there's a lot of looks in this. You got to play with a lot of looks and fashion. Do you have a favorite look that you got to rock in this?
Oh my God. So there was this little 1-2 moment. Um, there were a couple, but the outfit where we open up just an illusion. It's like this white and black Chanel inspired look, and um, I'm wearing this like really cute pixie cut wig. Um, yeah, that was definitely a moment that I wish it was fun to be in that, and I wish I had gotten to spend a little bit more time in that look. Um, there there was the the ball scenes, the looks for that were a lot of fun. And then the outfit that I'm wearing when Yo-Yo comes into the shop
Hmm.
um was super cute, and the wig.
The high-low black sparkly, I believe, right?
Yeah, and it kind of
Hmm.
had like a, yeah, it was just super cute.
It
And
was cute.
there's so we named all of the wigs based on like who they were inspired by. And so, we had the Aaliyah wig, which was sort of like we wore.
Hmm.
Aaliyah was worn a lot. We had the Naomi. We had our braids look,
Hmm.
which was our Janet Jackson moment. But it was I was wearing that Aaliyah wig too, and it was just a moment. It was cute.
Love
Yeah,
that.
it was a great job. I always say great job because when they showed me, they said, Dwen, I think we found somebody, because I had went through several people and I was like, no, they're not going to be able to do it. No, they're not going to be able to do it. And then they showed me the line and I'm like, I said, now the line, all right, now I know he was on post, but how is he getting ready to pull this off? But I couldn't get a transgender, because technically I am transgender, but I'm really way more androgynous than I am such a trans woman. I do go by she, but really I'm just Dwen. But you have to be able to show that transformation from me being a gay boy into transitioning. And the way they transitioned Dyllón was incredible. So I was blown away. I said, well, you know, I know he's got acting chops, so he's good. Let's see what it do. You know, and that's when I was like, I said, well, there's no way that I could leave him in DC filming by himself. You know, I need to go and support him. So if there's anything that, you know, he wants to ask or whatever, then, I mean, we had multiple conversations, and I think that's where the comfortability came in, because he really wanted to make sure that he did a good job. And I have not gotten one bad comment. And it's tons of them. I can't even like get back to the people. Like they're just streaming it. So I mean, he shut it down. I couldn't get a transgender to do it. I had to have Dyllón do it to that transformation. We needed that. Because everybody was like, well, why? I said, remember, I was a gay boy, duh. So, you know, and they was like, oh, I got it. And then as he continuously kept getting softer, they was like, oh, we see. So that's what happened with me.
Mm-hmm. So I want to talk about love for a second. We got to see you go through trials and tribulations with love, and some of that, you know, involved Hollywood in the hip hop life. Can you talk to me a bit, both of you, about showing that side of Hollywood and the music industry during a time period where we know it wasn't as open or as accepting? And what were your feelings at that time? And Dyllón, we'll start with you.
You know, I mean, I think at the heart of this, I I see this story as not necessarily a queer story or a trans story. What's beautiful about it is it's a story about somebody who is wanting to be loved. It's a love story at its core. From the very beginning, we sort of get some of those details around Dwen's biography and Dwen's relationship with his father and his mother, and like battling with self-love. And Butchie and Uncle Leon play a really important part in teaching Dwen how to love himself, which leads Dwen on this journey to transition, and to become the fullness of who she is. And I think that the relationships with the love interest in this story all are sort of an extension of Dwen's journey to love herself. I think, you know, we see Tukey sort of show up at a time when, you know, Dwen's at a low point, and trying to figure it out, and then Tukey comes in and shows her that, like, you know, actually you do have something that is lovable, and we start to see Dwen open up and come alive. And I think that was a really beautiful relationship that I've gotten a lot of messages from people that are saying, like, you shouldn't have broke up with Tukey. But Tukey Bookie was out here in the streets acting up.
He was.
You know, and I think the relationship with Zaire is really fascinating, because so many people, however they identify with their gender or sexual identity, religion and faith, are really complicated. Is a really complicated thing to navigate, around how we choose to partner and who we choose to be with, and our families always have an opinion about, you know, no matter what your identity is, families and churches always have an opinion about the people that we date and that we love and how we love. And I think that that's a really important conversation for the community to be having right now.
So, in wrapping up, there's, as you said, there's so many different themes of love, self-acceptance, you know, accountability that we get to see through this journey. For you, what is the message ultimately that you want the audience to take away? And this is for both of you. And Dwen, I'll start with you and I'll end with you, Dyllón.
With me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to piggyback off of what Dyllón was saying. You know, it was a great relationship. You know, it wasn't so much toxic, but I just was not dealing with it. And then with Zaire, it's like that was the heartbreak. And so Jihad, people need to understand because a lot of us, like in our family, you know, like our blended family, you know, Jihad's family and mine, they called him Jihad. His proper pronunciation was the correct pronunciation in the film, which is Jihad. And the reason why Jihad and Zaire connected is because they were both of Islam faith, of the same religion. And Jihad was battling with drugs and his sexuality and everything. So his brother, whose name is Supreme, named Jihad because he was dealing with a holy war on the inside. And so that's where the connection came with the two of them. And that's how everything started. So, you know, love is love. Because you see, although the kids wanted to boo me, but I mean, I chose my son over what they say, bros over hoes. I mean,
Always.
so yeah.